The drama begins with the female lead, Xing, who is at home in a relaxed mood doing online shopping. At that very moment, she receives a call from her boss, Yuan Feng. Xing immediately says, "If there's an emergency, tell me. Otherwise, I'm hanging up." But the call is important. Yuan Feng tells her, "A business partner of mine is arriving today and you need to pick him up from the airport because the original driver's car has broken down." On the other side, at the airport, is the drama's male lead, Yan Jing, an extremely successful, intelligent businessman who suffers from OCD. His perfectionist nature makes him precise and controlled in everything. When his secretary makes a small mistake, he fires her on the spot. When she requests a second chance, Yan Jing says, "I don't give second chances." Meanwhile, Xing hurriedly changes her outfit and reaches the airport. When her boss calls to ask, "Should I send a photo of Yan Jing?" she refuses, as she recognizes Yan Jing while passing by him. Later, when Yan Jing gets motion sickness in the car, Xing, without a word, offers him a pineapple-flavored candy, which is the exact flavor he likes. Yan Jing is surprised, wondering, how does Xing know all this without being told? In the next scene, during a meeting at the office, everyone offers Yan Jing alcohol, but he refuses. Xing enters again and cleverly makes an excuse to save him from drinking, saying he is on medication. Yan Jing is impressed that Xing understood his health and preferences without being told. Later, he offers her the position of his secretary. Xing initially refuses, stating, "I am loyal to Feng." Then, when Yan Jing offers her 3 times the salary and other facilities, Xing still refuses, to which Yan Jing tells her, "I'm confident that you will think about it again." While leaving, when Xing comes to give him his bag, she accidentally falls on him. In that moment, Yan Jing smells the scent of rosemary from her hair, a familiar fragrance. He asks Xing, "Have we met before?" But Xing smiles and casually says, "This is our first meeting." Still, Yan Jing feels a strange sense of familiarity. That night, he has a dream of a girl playing the piano, but her face is unclear. Yan Jing wakes up and talks to his therapist. The therapist asks, "Have you met someone new, seeing whom reminded you of this dream?" Yan Jing then realizes that he is feeling something for Xing. The next day, Yan Jing is interested in acquiring Feng's company. When he makes the proposal, Feng is initially hesitant, but when Yan Jing increases the offer, he agrees. Yan Jing specifically adds a condition, saying, "I want Xing in the secretary's position." It becomes clear that Yan Jing has acquired the entire company just for Xing. When Xing finds out about this, she initially resists. She shows loyalty to her old company, but she has to adjust in the face of Yan Jing's offer and attitude. She comes to Yan Jing's house to help him, house cleaning, organizing, even cooking, and Yan Jing is very impressed with everything. He says, "You can double your salary, but in return, you'll also have to take care of my food and drink." Xing is hesitant, but she accepts the job. After starting the job, she arrives at Yan Jing's house at 7:30 a.m., creates his schedule, prepares his clothes, and organizes everything perfectly. Seeing all this, Yan Jing is quite impressed with her. When Feng asks Yan Jing about Xing's performance, Yan Jing says she is a hard-working worker. Meanwhile, he receives a resignation letter, which means Xing wants to resign. But Yan Jing doesn't accept it. He secretly gives orders to keep Xing busy the entire day so that she doesn't get time to reconsider her decision. Amidst this, a new character is introduced, Zheng, who is a celebrity and is about to get engaged to Yan Jing. When Xing returns to the office, she is shocked to see Zheng in Yan Jing's office. Xing goes to his office and asks about her resignation. Yan Jing says, "Since you are doing your job well, your resignation will not be accepted." Hearing this, Xing retorts and leaves. Later at home, Yan Jing can't sleep. He keeps remembering the words Xing said to him in the office. He is in a state of confusion and guilt, which is why he calls Dr. Han and asks, "Do you also think that I am too much of a control freak and too strict?" Dr. Han replies with a laugh, "What has suddenly happened to you? What kind of questions are you asking?" On the other side, Xing takes out a box containing her old pictures and small memories with Yan Jing. She remembers the moments when they were in love and when Yan Jing had proposed to her. The next day, when Xing doesn't arrive at the office, Yan Jing calls her. He asks angrily, "Where are you, Xing? Today's work is very important." She then pretends there's a network issue and cuts the call. A little later, Xing receives a call from a director who says, "I won't be able to come to the office today, so I'm handing over some important documents to you." Xing goes to collect the documents but accidentally bumps into a boy on the way. That boy is a new employee. Xing is surprised to see him because she instantly likes his appearance and his calm nature. Meanwhile, Yan Jing's doctor tells him, "Your scans are exactly the same as they were 5 years ago. Your memory loss is the result of some emotional trauma." Yan Jing says, "I had a headache for the first time when I was with Xing. The pain becomes more intense when I try to remember her." The doctor suggests, "Perhaps Xing can help in your treatment." The next day, Xing wants to get a small apartment of her own. She is at a showroom when her friend, Zhao, helps her open an account and advises her, employees will get a special discount in a month, so don't quit your job now. Hearing this, Xing is happy. She goes back to the office and meets Yanjing. He is surprised and asks her, "What are you doing here?" Xing replies, "According to the rules, I have to work for one more month before I can leave." But he says, "I don't need you right now, you can go." As Xing is leaving, she looks at Yanjing's outfit and says, "You've buttoned your jacket wrong." This makes him quite embarrassed. After this, because Xing doesn't come to the office on the weekend, Yanjing gives her extra work. To annoy him, Xing intentionally knocks over a sculpture on her table, which makes a noise and all the beads fall. Yanjing, disturbed by the sound, immediately comes to Xing and starts picking everything up himself because he dislikes imperfection. At this moment, a secretary informs Xing that Yanjing's imported car has arrived and says its license number is 05215. Xing is shocked to hear this. Later, when Xing and the employees get more work, a tired Xing takes everyone out for dinner. Yanjing calls Xing and asks, "Where are you?" She tells him, "I'm having dinner with the staff." Then Yanjing asks her about some documents, to which she replies, "The documents are on my computer. The password is HEV05215. Yanjing is shocked to hear this. It was the number of his old car. Then, while Xing and her co-workers are having dinner, Yanjing arrives there. Xing is surprised. He starts having dinner with all of them, and a girl is about to add coriander to his soup. But Xing stops her, saying he doesn't like it. Yanjing is surprised how she knows his preferences so clearly. Later, he asks Xing, "Your computer password is 05215? Is this just a number, or is there something special about it?" Xing replies, "That's my personal matter. Don't ask me too much." Just then, Xing's friend and ex-boss, Feng, arrives to pick her up, and Yanjing gets very jealous. In the next scene, Yanjing, in anger, tells everyone, there will be a team-building activity the next day, and everyone's attendance is mandatory. The next day, Xing arrives and is surprised to see there's a pairing system. Yanjing forces her to be his partner. When the games start, Xing and Yanjing play truth and dare. When Xing asks him some questions, he answers as if he knows everything about her. Xing is shocked and asks, "How do you know everything about me?" He says, "Have we really not met before?" Xing remains silent. After the activity, while Xing is taking a spring bath, Yanjing comes there. Xing tells him, "You and I are different in every way. Status, mindset, everything." Yanjing replies, "No, Xing, we are not different. Our likes, our habits, everything is the same." Xing says, "This is all just a coincidence." Just then, her eyes fall on the ring on Yanjing's chain. Xing is in shock. Yanjing asks her, "Don't you recognize this ring? Have we never met before?" Xing says, "Yes, we have never met before." Xing asks Yanjing, "Why do you keep saying that we've met before? What answer are you expecting?" Yanjing calmly asks her, "The memories that I have lost, were you in them?" Xing pauses for a moment and says, "I don't know. Maybe I was, maybe I wasn't. But you are not in my memories." Yanjing then says, "Then let's try a method." He then grabs her hand and forcefully tries to put the ring from the chain on her finger, which fits her perfectly. At that moment, Zhao and Zheng arrive there. In the next scene, Xing and Zhao are sitting and talking. He asks her, "Was Yanjing your first love? The one you still haven't been able to forget?" Xing angrily tells him, "Be quiet." On the other side, Zheng has come to meet Yanjing. She says, "I came to see you. You take such good care of Xing. Are you two in a relationship?" Yanjing casually says, "It's nothing special. I just think she looks familiar, like someone I've met before." Zheng becomes very jealous. In the next scene, Xing comes to Yanjing, and he asks her, "How do you know everything so well when you say we've never met before?" Xing gets a little flustered. Yanjing once again puts the same ring on her hand and says, "It fits. How can this be?" Xing, in a slightly defensive tone, says, "This ring could fit anyone. It doesn't mean I know you from before." And then she adds, "Besides, I have a boyfriend." Yanjing gets irritated and asks, "Where is your boyfriend? Who is he?" Just then, Feng arrives and says, "I am her boyfriend." Yanjing says angrily, "Great, you handle her. Congratulations to you both." Later, on the way home, Xing thanks him for saving her from that difficult situation. On the other hand, Yanjing is boxing in anger. The next day, Zhao meets with Yanjing and makes him an offer to take his 20% share in the company and stop bothering Xing, but he refuses. After that, he goes outside and announces to everyone, "Xing is my girlfriend," so that Yanjing stays away from her. At that moment, Xing arrives, takes Zhao away and says, I asked you for help, but what is all this you're doing? Just then, Yanjing arrives, and Xing tells him the company should launch an app and make Zheng the brand ambassador. Yanjing replies, I will then have to deal with Zheng myself. In the next scene, she goes to meet Zheng, who is more interested in talking about her and Yanjing's relationship, so Xing leaves. In the next scene, the app launch event is successful. Yanjing again asks her, have we known each other before? To which Xing replies, if you don't stop asking this question repeatedly, I will have to leave this job early. Then, when Xing doesn't come to Yanjing's apartment the next day, he misses her and goes to her house. On the other side, Xing has just come out of the washroom in a bath towel when the doorbell rings. She thinks it's the food delivery person, so she tells him to leave the food there and go. A little while later, when she opens the door, she sees Yanjing and immediately closes it. After cleaning up the house mess and changing, she opens the door and lets Yanjing in, where he tells her, I won't ask you any more personal questions and you can rejoin, to which she agrees. On another note, a video of Yanjing from an event goes viral. Therefore, everyone asked Xing to make some videos on Yanjing's daily life for the company's better promotion, but Xing refuses. When Yanjing finds out about this, he directly asks Xing about it. Xing calmly replies, I know Yanjing doesn't like interference in his personal life, so I refuse the proposal out of consideration for him. But Yanjing insists, I want you to shoot the video of my daily life so that you stay close to me. During the shoot, Xing's phone falls into the swimming pool, and when Yanjing bends down to give it to her, she pulls her hand back, causing herself to fall into the pool. Then Yanjing asks, isn't your heart beating faster seeing me? Xing becomes very serious and says, you are misunderstanding. She then gets out of that awkward moment and leaves, but when she goes home, she keeps thinking about this moment over and over again. Then she tells herself, I shouldn't be thinking about all this. The next morning, Yanjing holds a live social media event for his company's promotion. When people ask him, what should your ideal woman be like? He gives an exact description of Xing. The next day, all the girls in the office come dressed just as Yanjing had described. When Yanjing sees all this, his employee tells him, they all want to be your ideal girl. In the next scene, Xing is taking some of his candid pictures for promotional work, but Yanjing thinks she is secretly taking his pictures, so he directly asks her, why are you taking my pictures? Are you starting to like me? Xing gets awkward but calmly says, I was taking pictures for your fans, not for myself. Then she clearly states, I am going to resign soon and I don't want things to get more complicated due to any misunderstanding. After this, Yanjing gets an idea to give her a gift, which his friend Ju suggests. A large gift box is delivered to the office for Xing, containing many expensive items. Xing is confused about who sent it. When she asks her friend Yuan Feng, he says he didn't send it. They both understand that this was all Yanjing's plan. So, Yuan Feng goes straight to Yanjing and tells him, stop giving gifts to my girlfriend, to which Yanjing replies, I know she is not your girlfriend. Yuan Feng says, this is our personal matter, and leaves. Yanjing calls his friend and says, my idea was a flop. To which his friend suggests, you should gift Xing her favorite thing. To track Xing's personal preferences, Yanjing wants to monitor her phone but can't access anything. He understands that Xing has blocked him, so he goes and asks Xing directly, are you angry with me? Why did you block me? Xing replies, I just want to keep my personal and professional life separate. That's why I blocked you. But when she sees that Yanjing is emotionally affected, she unblocks him. Yanjing's face lights up and he smiles. In the next scene, Yanjing and Xing go to a small company event where Yanjing again invites her to dinner. Xing agrees, and the two spend an evening together. In the restaurant where they go, there is no one else. So Xing asks him, why are we the only ones here? He explains, I booked the entire restaurant. Xing is a bit surprised by this but says nothing. Just then, Yanjing takes out a customized perfume for Xing named after her. He says, this project is my personal idea. That's why I wanted a girl to tell me what it's like. Xing says in a neutral tone, some girls might like it. Yanjing asks directly, and you? Xing looks into his eyes and softly says, I don't want there to be a third person between us when someone gives me something special. Yanjing understands this. He cancels the idea of the perfume launch. The next morning, before going to the company, Xing is thinking about him. How Yanjing remembers small things for her. How he goes to any length for her happiness. When she arrives at the office, she finds out that Yanjing had lied to the director to invite her to dinner. And Xing learns this from one of her staff members. She doesn't react much upon hearing it, just feels a little affected inside. In the next scene, Xing and Yanjing are in the storeroom when Yanjing finds out that Xing wants to buy her own house, but hasn't been approved yet. Xing's stance is, I don't believe in free things. Nothing in the world comes without a cost. Yanjing directly tells her, if you continue to work in the company, I can help you. Xing immediately refuses. I don't want a house as a favor from anyone. I will earn it with my own hard work. Then Xing's housing matter becomes more serious. Her father is in a financial crisis. His business partner has run away with the money. When Xing finds out, she becomes emotional but doesn't tell anyone. Yanjing finds out about this indirectly. He offers to help her, saying, I will help you, but only on the condition that you don't leave the company and become my girlfriend. Xing angrily refuses him. I can't become a girlfriend in exchange for a deal, and I don't need anyone's money. Yanjing quietly watches her. He can't understand why Xing runs away from him every time when he clearly cares for her. Due to all this tension, Xing has exhausted her savings, so to save money, she is eating instant noodles. Yanjing sees her but says nothing. Meanwhile, Xing receives an anonymous message. You can have lunch on the upper floor. She goes there, but doesn't understand who invited her. Then she suspects that it might be Yanjing's doing. Later, Xing finds out that her dad's partner has returned with all the money, and she feels very relieved. Meanwhile, when she comes to Yanjing's office, she sees a photo of her dad's partner on his desk. She understands that Yanjing secretly helped her father, and when she asks, Did you find my dad's partner? Yanjing lies, I just went to check their address and nothing else. Xing says, You always help me in every problem without telling me. Do you think I'm blind? But still, she says, Thank you. Yanjing softly asks, Now you must think I'm a good person? Xing says, I know you are good, but I don't want to get into any relationship right now. He asks Xing directly, Tell me the truth. Do you reject me because you are still in love with your ex-boyfriend? Xing is silent for a moment. Then, with tears in her eyes, she says, Yes, I still haven't been able to forget him, and that's why I am distant from you, Yanjing tells his friend Dr. Han. Xing still hasn't forgotten her ex. Dr. Han replies, A person never fully overcomes what they go through. That thing always remains a memory. Yanjing gets angry at first, but then starts to understand his feelings. Dr. Han advises him, Do something that Xing would never expect. Yanjing then starts avoiding Xing. When Xing reports to him about a project, he coldly says, Tongshen will handle the project now, and he sends Xing away from there. But during the meeting, Yanjing's mouth accidentally slips, and he says Xing's name, and he realizes he can't hide his feelings. After this, Xing is waiting for Yanjing when Tongshen tells her, Yanjing has gone to dinner with Zhen. On the other side, at a restaurant, the cashier asks Yanjing, Have you been here before? Your face looks familiar. Yanjing denies it. The next day, Yanjing calls Xing to a shopping mall and says, I need to buy a gift for a girl. Xing is surprised and asks, Who is the girl? Yanjing simply says, She is my friend. Xing suggests, The gift could be jewelry, but Yanjing says, That girl doesn't like jewelry. Xing then says, I know what to get. Just then, Zheng arrives. Yanjing gives her the gift and also plans lunch with her. Xing's jealousy is clearly visible, but she remains silent. When Xing asks Zheng, Are you two school friends? Zheng reveals, We are childhood friends. Xing is shocked. In the next scene, Feng and Yanjing are both drunk, so Feng calls Xing to pick them up. When Xing arrives, she is shocked to see Yanjing drunk with him. Xing then drops Feng off and comes to drop Yanjing. Yanjing hugs her and emotionally says, I want you to be in my life forever. I only have 2 regrets. 1, why didn't I meet you sooner? And second, I couldn't see my father one last time. But Xing leaves from there. The next day is her school dinner where Xing's classmates are discussing her past. One classmate says Xing got the job only because she has a connection with Yanjing. Xing denies it, but Yanjing overhears everything. He starts to suspect that Xing is hiding something. When he asks Xing, Have we met before? Xing replies, It's just a misunderstanding because my ex looks like you. Then Yanjing insists, If you have any photo, you should show it. But Xing says, I have destroyed everything but haven't been able to forget him. Yanjing asks her, Am I just a substitute for your first love? And he leaves from there in anger. Meanwhile, Xing says to herself in her heart, Yanjing, forgive me, lying was my compulsion. On the other side, Yanjing goes to the same restaurant where the cashier had recognized him. He asks the cashier, Please remember carefully, do you know me from before? The cashier says, If you have come before, your photo would be on the wall. But Zheng had taken the photo from there, which is caught on CCTV. So he goes to Zhen's house where his eyes fall on a torn photo in the dustbin. After that, he goes straight to Xing's house and tells her, I need to confirm something. He shows her the photo and asks, Is this you in this photo? Xing gets flustered but nods her head in agreement, saying, Yes, it's me. Yanjing says, We took this photo together before my car accident. Then Yanjing says angrily, So you've been hiding everything from me until now? Don't you think I should have known everything earlier? Xing replies, I was lying because everything has changed in the past 5 years. We both have changed. Yanjing says, I have been searching for that ring for 5 years, and now you're saying all of this means nothing? and you yourself said you haven't forgotten me yet. Xing looks into his eyes and says, first love is not forgotten, but life doesn't stop either. Yanjing leaves from there in anger. Then Xing opens an old box of hers where she had kept all of Yanjing's memories. She puts the ring back in that same box. On the other side, Yanjing practices boxing to let out his anger. His punches are filled with only frustration. In the next scene, Xing comes to the office, but Yanjing is not there. She cancels all his appointments and signs his documents herself, just as she used to do before. Then Xing goes into a flashback, where she and Yanjing are sharing happy moments during their college days. Xing's eyes are filled with a river of tears. She never thought her first love would be so intense. On the other hand, Yanjing is hospitalized due to depression. When Xing finds out, she comes to the hospital to see him and stays by his side all night. But when he starts to regain consciousness the next morning, she leaves. When Yanjing regains consciousness, Zheng is with him. He asks, "Were you with me last night?" Zheng lies and says, "Yes, I was." The next day, they go for lunch and some people start taking their pictures. Zheng asks Yanjing, "Do you have any problem with people taking photos?" To which Yanjing says, "It doesn't bother me." On the other side, Xing sees these photos. All this was made viral by Yanjing himself to make Xing jealous. Feng comes to Xing's house to meet her and accidentally says Yanjing's name in front of her, which hurts Xing. Xing says Yanjing has found out everything, that we were a couple before. Now he is very angry with me because for the first time someone has broken his heart. To cheer Xing up, Feng suggests, "Let's go out." But Xing says, "I am not in the mood to go anywhere because I am not getting any job either." Feng gets contacts of some companies and gives them to Xing, saying, "You can try whenever you feel like it." Xing says, "I want to get a job on my own merit." Then Feng secretly shoots a video with Xing and uploads it on social media. When Yanjing sees this video, he gets jealous. After this, Yanjing repeatedly calls Feng, but he doesn't pick up. When he finally takes the call, Feng, to make Yanjing jealous, asks Xing, "Feed me grapes." When Yanjing hears this, he hangs up the call in anger and keeps everyone in the office busy with work. To cheer him up, Tongxin starts following Xing's advice. Yanjing asks her, "How do you know my habits?" Tongxin says, "Xing gave me a note with everything written down." After this, Doctor Han tells Yanjing, "Xing was with you at the hospital that night and even gave you a forehead kiss." Hearing all this, Yanjing is surprised. Then at night, Yanjing goes to Xing's house on the pretext of food delivery and says, "I want to know what happened between us 5 years ago." Xing says, "I don't remember anything because a lot of time has passed." Yanjing says, "If you don't like me, then why did you kiss me at the hospital?" Xing doesn't answer, but Yanjing kisses her, and all this is being watched by Feng from the balcony. In the next scene, wherever Xing goes for an interview, she gets rejected. Then she finds out that Yanjing is behind all this, so she goes to his house and asks him, "What do you want?" Yanjing says, "Help me remember everything, and I won't bother you again." So the next day, Xing takes him to all the places they used to go. The bus, rafting, the same date spot, and dancing under the fountains. Yanjing says, "I am now starting to remember things little by little." Xing gifts him a chain, the chain he liked. The next day, a message comes from Xing that says, "I can't meet you." When Yanjing goes to the office, he finds out that Xing is on leave today. He checks social media, but Xing hasn't posted anything. He feels that Xing is avoiding him again, so he goes to her house. Xing's mother tells him her parents have passed away. Yanjing becomes emotional. Yanjing asks Xing, "Why didn't you tell me?" She says, "We had no relationship, so why should I tell?" Yanjing says, "If you don't love me, then why did you kiss me?" Xing says, "I was confused." Yanjing says, "I won't force you to be my girlfriend, but I won't stop chasing you either." After this, Feng asks Xing, "Have you still not forgotten Yanjing?" Then he says, "If you still love him, then go and tell him everything clearly. Otherwise, you both won't be able to move on." In the next scene, Xing's mother asks Xing, "Feng and Yanjing are both good, but which one do you like?" Xing says, "Yanjing is just my boss and nothing more." The next morning, Yanjing takes Xing's parents for an outing. Xing is surprised and asks, "What are you doing here today?" Yanjing replies, "Feng lied, so all his holidays have been canceled. That's why I've come to hang out with your parents." They go shopping in the malls, and they hand all the shopping bags to Yanjing. Meanwhile, Xing's mother gets busy with shopping. During this, Xing's father is taken away on the pretext of a skin treatment, where a secret video of him is also made and sent to Xing. The next day at Yanjing's house, Xing's mother and father compare their new relationship with the old one. Xing's mother says, "Yanjing seems very rich. I hope Xing doesn't get hurt again." Yanjing overhears all this and is shocked. Then Xing arrives, and everyone becomes silent. Later, Yanjing tells Xing, "If you don't tell me everything, I'll tell your parents that I was your first boyfriend." Xing tells him about her old memories, how she met Yanjing at a coffee shop, how they fell in love, and how her father had said, "Your social statuses are very different." Xing had said, I can't leave him just because of social status. I love him. Then, during dinner, Xing's phone rings with a call from Yanjing's father. Xing answers the call and says, if you want, I am ready to start everything over. But Yanjing's decision will not change. Then, in a sudden accident, Yanjing's father passes away. Xing is at the hospital, where the doctor tells her Yanjing was hit with force, but he has lost his memory. Xing feels guilty and says, if I hadn't forcefully sent him to the meeting, maybe he wouldn't have died. Yanjing angrily says to Xing, you are self-centered. Your love has caused pain. You left me alone when I needed you the most. Xing apologizes, crying. Yanjing says, after you left, I have been broken inside for the last 5 years. When asked how his memory returned, Xing replies, Doctor, Han said there was something unusual in his body. After that, Yanjing asks, do you have my things? Xing says, yes. Yanjing says, give them back. For you, they are just memories. For me, they are everything. Xing, in tears, says, I will return them, and leaves. Just then, it starts raining heavily. Yanjing comes with an umbrella and sees Xing getting drenched. Due to the heavy rain, Xing takes Yanjing to her house and gives him clothes to change. Because of the rain, Xing sleeps on the sofa all night. When she wakes up, she sees that Yanjing has left. On the other side, Yanjing is lost in thought even in the meeting. People start talking about how much Yanjing has changed since Xing left. Tongshin says maybe something is going on between them. Meanwhile, Xing goes for another interview. The interviewer says, I like your qualifications and experience, and I want you to join our Shanghai branch. Xing says, I will think about it and let you know. As she is leaving, Yanjing also comes there for business. The interviewer says, I was just interviewing your former employee. Yanjing says, I know Xing well because she has been my chief secretary. The interviewer is impressed and offers Xing the job on the spot. Xing agrees to join the Shanghai branch. When Feng finds out, he asks Xing, how will you manage living out of the city? Xing says, I am going to another city only because I keep running into Yanjing in the same city. Feng says, even if you think so, maybe Yanjing is not thinking the same way. Xing says, I have told Yanjing everything truthfully. On the other side, Yanjing tells Dr. Han everything, and he advises him to stay away from Xing, to which Yanjing says, you can say all this because you have never loved. Yanjing's mother comes to his house and says, before your father died, he said he wanted to see you happy. The mother says, it was my fault. I should have hugged Xing back then. Then, Yanjing goes to his father's grave and remembers. He says, thank you, Dad. In the next scene, Feng tells Yanjing, I want my leave back. Yanjing says, you have already taken enough leave and can't get more. Feng says, Xing is leaving, so I want to go see her off. Yanjing says, this is your personal matter. So Feng angrily says, I can't just write a report leaving my love behind. After this, Yanjing comes to meet Xing and asks, where are you going? Xing says, I am going to another city for a job. Yanjing says, if you want to work, you can do it in this city. There is no point in going to another city. Xing says, if you have only come to take back your past belongings, I will send them. Yanjing says, courier them directly. Then Xing calls Feng and asks, what did you say to Yanjing that day that made him come to meet me? To which Feng says, if Yanjing really wanted to end things, he wouldn't be so upset. Xing says, you shouldn't do anything like that in the future. One day, Xing goes to Yanjing's house to give something. Just then, she feels that there is a girl in his bedroom, and she leaves from there. Han gets a call saying, the company is not hiring you. When she asks, what is the reason? They say, you should know it yourself. Xing calls the agency and asks, did Yanjing get me fired? Yanjing says, I need you for only one job, to help Miss Ye, my mother, with my father's launch. Xing doesn't know who Miss Ye is. Miss Ye tests Xing by making her wait, repeatedly changing the location and even pretending to faint. Xing gives her candy and says, my friend used to have hypoglycemia. Miss Ye says, people like you are always happy in their lives. Then Xing says, you made me wait the whole day, and if you wanted to waste my time, you should have said so earlier. Yanjing asks, will you do something if I ask you to? Xing says, I will, if it doesn't affect my future. Yanjing says, I want to surprise my special someone. So he asks her, can you organize an event? Xing agrees. On the day of the event, Yanjing puts up an old photo of him and Xing on the wall. He thanks the manager. He calls Xing. He says, this might be our last meeting. He asks Xing, when did we first meet? Xing says, 5 years ago. Yanjing says, we have known each other for 6 years. Xing gets flustered and asks, did I tell you all this? Yanjing says, no, I found out everything through investigation. Xing asks, are you blaming me? Yanjing says, I was blaming you at first, but not anymore. Because of you, I realized that despite being ideal, I am in love with you. Xing says, I tried for 5 years but still lost. Yanjing says, I was not your Mr. Right, and you will surely be happy with your Mr. Right. Xing says to Yanjing, you did all this for me. Xing asks, don't you hate me? Then Yanjing says, I do, because you left without telling me and decided to stay away. Xing apologizes and says, I didn't understand how to face you. Yanjing says, my father's accident was not your fault. Even if you hadn't given the address, my father would have found out where I was. Xing says, but everything started because of me. Yanjing says, I am not solely responsible, we both are. And he says, before my father died, he himself said that no one should be held responsible for him. And he also said, I always wanted to see you happy. Hearing this, Xing hugs him. Yanjing says, everything is fine now, there's no need to be afraid anymore. Then Yanjing asks, Xing, would you like to listen to me as my patient? Xing says, I did all this for you. Yanjing says, you yourself said that you would become my girlfriend only when I bring stars for you. And I have contacted the IAU and have named 2 stars after both of us. When you look up at night, you will see your own named star. At that moment, it starts to snow. Xing says, I was just joking at that time, but you took it seriously. Yanjing says, you yourself are a star for me. Yanjing says, at first I didn't believe in fate, but when we met again, I started to believe in fate. And we wasted 5 years of our lives, and now I don't want to waste any more time. Hearing this, Xing kisses him. The next morning, Yanjing calls her and asks, are you okay? Xing says, yes, I am fine. Yanjing says, I didn't sleep well at night because I was missing you. Xing says, I am almost 30 years old and you shouldn't talk like a child. Yanjing says, you are my decision. Xing says, you weren't so frank before. So Yanjing says, if you like sarcastic people, I can become like that too. Xing says, I have become unemployed because of you. Yanjing says, I am calling you back to my company in the PR department. Xing asks, when did I accept to come back? Yanjing asks, do you want to see me in a suit? Xing says, I will come back only after a long vacation. Yanjing says, I am your boss, and the boss wants you to come on time. Xing quickly gets up, gets ready, and comes to the office. Everyone is happy to see her. Then Yanjing asks, what problem happened between you and your boyfriend that you left the job? Now that the problem is solved, you have come back. Yanjing asks Xing, why didn't you tell me? Xing says, if people find out what our relationship is, it could cause problems, so I want to keep the relationship a secret. Yanjing gets a little angry, so Xing sends a dinner message to cheer him up. Then, to make him happy, she comes to his office to give him coffee, where she leaves a kiss on the coffee plate. Yanjing has his business partner with him, so he quickly places the coffee cup on the plate and sends her away quickly. Then when Xing comes to his office, he hugs her. Xing asks Yanjing, are you angry? Yanjing says, yes, but someone said that I should support my daughter. And then he kisses her. Xing says, I was trying to cheer you up all day, so why didn't you give in? Yanjing says, I should have kissed you instead of the plate. Xing says, I just kissed you now. Yanjing says, just now, only I kissed you, not you. So Xing kisses him again. Just then, Director Yan starts calling them. Xing starts to leave, but Yanjing doesn't let go of her hand, so Xing tells him, talk from there. Director Yan asks, how do you handle Yanjing? Xing asks, did you have any work for me? The director says, there are some stocks at their limit in the engineering department. Xing says, I will manage it. They leave. Xing asks Yanjing, what were you doing? He says, I was just working. After that, Xing meets Fing, who asks her, what are you doing? Xing tells him everything and says, thank you. Fing says, you found a boyfriend, but I don't have a girlfriend. Xing laughs and hugs him. Just then, one of their colleagues sees them and tells everyone. Director Yan says, maybe Xing's boyfriend is Feng. Just then, Yanjing arrives and tells everyone, focus on your work. Then, when Xing arrives, Yanjing tells her, tell everyone what our relationship is. Xing says, we are working partners and good friends. Yanjing tells everyone, don't spread baseless rumors or your salary might be cut. Xing says, give them one more chance. Yanjing agrees. On the way back in the car, Xing tells Yanjing, you don't need to be possessive. Yanjing says, I am just possessive because I have been with you for 5 years. Xing says, you weren't with me before, but you were always in my heart. Just as Yanjing is about to kiss her, Feng calls him. Yanjing picks up the phone and says, Xing and I are going to dinner. You can come if you want. He cuts the phone. After dinner, when everyone leaves, Yanjing spends time with Xing. Xing says, we have a lot of time. Let's have some meaningful fun. Yanjing takes this the wrong way and goes to bed. Xing says, I was just talking about a game. They start playing a game. The next morning, Xing sees the shoes and asks, are these Miss Ye's? Yanjing says, yes, they are Miss Ye's. Just then, Miss Ye comes out of the room. Xing is surprised. Xing asks, "Is this Miss Ye?" Yanjing says, "Yes, this is my mother and she has to go back today, so I want you both to spend some time together." In the next scene, at Feng's house dinner table, everyone is sitting at the dinner table, and director Yan says, "Unmarried people are clean and independent." Hearing this, everyone asks Xing, "What do you think about it?" Xing replies, "I also have no intention of getting married." So Yanjing playfully says, "Doesn't your boyfriend want to marry you?" Everyone jokingly starts asking her, "Tell us about your boyfriend," and asks, "Show us his picture." Xing, feeling a bit awkward, says, "We don't click many pictures together." Everyone teases, "Those who date in secret are more cautious." So Yanjing takes her away from there on the pretext of work and takes her to a photo booth to take pictures. While they are clicking photos, their colleagues also arrive. Yanjing says, "Let's tell everyone that we are a couple." But Xing refuses. She says, "We were just discussing a project," and they both leave from there. Later, in the office, a colleague says, "Xing works all day, and her boyfriend doesn't pick her up, which means he truly loves her." At night, Yanjing messages Xing, but Xing doesn't reply because she is busy. Yanjing thinks, "How nice it would be if we lived together." The next morning, Yanjing makes breakfast and waits for Xing. As soon as the doorbell rings, he says, "I want us to be together every day," but at the door is director Yan. Xing arrives late, and Yanjing gets angry and says, "Why didn't you reply to my message?" Xing says, "I was busy." So a little tension is created, but she manages to pacify him with a kiss. A little later, Xing is talking to Tongshen. Tongshen asks her, "Where do you go on dates with your boyfriend?" Xing says, "Going on a movie date is the best idea." After this, Yanjing asks Xing, "What were you discussing with Tongshen?" Xing replies, "I was telling her about a date." Yanjing says, "Then let's go on a movie date too." Then Xing and Yanjing watch a horror movie at his house. Yanjing gets scared watching the movie, so they both leave the movie and start playing a game. Just then, Xing repeatedly gets calls from Mr. Shu. Yanjing gets irritated and says, "Tell Mr. Shu not to call outside the office." Then Xing goes with Tongshen and tells Yanjing. Yanjing waits for Xing until late at night. Then he calls Shu. What is the reason that Xing is late? Shu says, maybe they both don't want to receive calls. Just then, Xing arrives and falls on the sofa. Yanjing's anger subsides. Xing apologizes to him and says, "From now on, I won't ruin my date because of anyone else." The next morning, Xing says, "I want to shift to a new house." Yanjing says, "I have a better option that can also save you money." Xing asks, "Are you enhancing the price fare program?" Yanjing says, "I was just saying it casually." Arriving at the office just as Yanjing is about to kiss Xing in the car, Director Yan arrives. Xing quickly gets out and goes with Yan. Yan asks, "Were you in Yanjing's car?" Xing says, "The driver was on leave, so he came to drop me off." In the next scene, Xing prepares breakfast for Yanjing, but Yanjing gets a little annoyed by this and says that this is not enough. Xing jokingly says, "If you keep making such breakfast every day, I will get fat." Yanjing laughs and says, "So do you want me to make something like this for you every day?" And then he gives Xing the key to his house. Xing is a bit confused and says, "When you already know my password, why are you giving me this key?" Yanjing says, "I can change the password anytime, but this key is your right." Xing takes the key, and they both get romantic. They kiss. The next morning, Xing wakes up and sees that Yanjing has clicked some pictures of her on her mobile while she was sleeping. Then she goes out to get breakfast. When she comes back, she sees that Yanjing is not at home and she can't find her phone either. Xing tracks the location, and it turns out to be a hospital. She immediately rushes to the hospital. Arriving at the hospital, she sees that Yanjing doesn't recognize her. She thinks, maybe he is angry because I left without telling him. She kisses him, but Yanjing pushes her away and says, "What are you doing?" Xing gets worried. She asks, "You don't know me?" Yanjing says, "Even if I know you, you can't force me." Saying this, he leaves. Xing is confused and thinks, was this all a dream? Back at the office, Yanjing asks the receptionist, "Is Scottish corn on this floor?" The receptionist is surprised. Yanjing checks the ID cards of the new staff and calls Xing to the office. As soon as Xing comes to the office, he questions her, "What is the business reason for your return?" Xing emotionally says, "I left without telling and I apologize for it." She hugs him, but Yanjing pushes her away again and says, "You are just my secretary, don't try to take too much advantage." Xing says, "I am your girlfriend." Yanjing says, "If you were my girlfriend, everyone would know about our relationship." He says, "Why can't you publicly tell me that you love me?" Saying this, he sends Xing to the bank to get documents. Seeing all this, Director Yan is also shocked. Yanjing then says to Xing, "You are only an undergraduate. How did you get a job here?" He threatens to fire her. Xing says, I have signed a contract. You can't fire me like this. Yanjing removes her from the secretary position and transfers her to the research department. Everyone in the office is shocked. The director thinks maybe Xing rejected Yanjing's proposal, so he sent her to research. During the break, Xing meets Dr. Han and tells him Yanjing has forgotten everything. Dr. Han says he remembers everything, just not the time when you two were in a relationship. Xing asks, can I tell everyone that I am Yanjing's girlfriend? Han says, if you can make him fall in love with you again, everything can be fine. Xing gets sad and thinks, why only I remember everything and he keeps forgetting? Han says, but you still love him, right? Xing says, yes, I still love him. Then she says, I will make Yanjing remember everything again. The next day, Xing comes to the office first thing in the morning and helps everyone. But she finds out that a new secretary named Jin has been hired. Xing helps the new girl with the coffee machine and sees that she has already researched everything. At lunch, Tongshen comes with Xing and tells her, the new girl works just like Yanjing, which is why he likes her. When Feng finds out that Yanjing has removed Xing from the secretary position, he angrily confronts him. Yanjing says, this is my decision, it has nothing to do with you. Feng says, alright, if you're going to do this, then I'll go back to Xing. In the next scene, Xing tells Feng, Yanjing's memory is gone again. This time, Yanjing told me, forget me, and leave the company. Xing refuses and says, the first time I followed my heart and wasted 5 years. This time, I won't do that. Miss Ye supports her in her decision. In the next scene, Xing goes to Yanjing's office where Yanjing asks her, give me the 10-year economic report in 10 minutes. Xing climbs on a chair to find the report and is about to fall, but Yanjing catches her. The buttons on Xing's shirt break, so Yanjing gives her his jacket. When Xing goes back to give the file, Jin doesn't let her enter the office. Jin says, I have instructions that Xing cannot go into Yanjing's office. Xing stands by the elevator. After that, Yanjing tells Jin, deliver the file to my office. Xing doesn't say anything there. After that, Xing gets a call that a house has been bought for her next to her house. This house was bought by Yanjing as a surprise for Xing before his memory loss. Xing shifts to the new house where she finds old pictures with Yanjing. In the office, Xing returns at 4 o'clock. Yanjing asks her, where were you at this time? Xing says, I was just out for a little while. Yanjing angrily asks, did you take permission? Xing says, for small things from the department, one doesn't need to take permission. Yanjing says, you haven't signed the transfer paper yet, which means you are still an employee of the CEO's office and can be fired for leaving the office without approval. Xing calmly says, you can't fire me because I worked even during my leave. Xing says, even if Jin is a good secretary, the best secretary for you is only me because I know every habit of yours. On the other hand, at night, Xing is releasing stress by playing loud music. Her Bluetooth accidentally connects to the speaker in Yanjing's house. Yanjing is surprised and comes to Xing's house. Xing opens the door wearing a mask and says, I am the new neighbor, Ko. Yanjing doesn't recognize her. The next day, Xing leaves a food box for Yanjing at his gate. The box has Ko's name on it. Yanjing opens the food box and is happy to see his favorite things inside. Then, in the office, Yanjing calls for Xing. Xing thinks maybe he remembers everything, but Yanjing says, you took leave without permission, so your report will now be handled by your senior. Xing says, I also want you to be like you were before. On the other hand, now Yanjing waits for the food box every day. Xing also brings him his favorite coffee. Yanjing asks, how did you know? Xing says, I asked your old secretary about it when I was in America. Yanjing asks, can someone know all my preferences in just one meeting? Xing says, it's possible, or maybe you are approaching me for some reason. At night, Yanjing rings the bell of Xing's house. Xing again opens the door wearing a mask. When she hurts her foot, Yanjing picks her up in his arms and takes her to the sofa. A smell of rosemary comes from Xing, so Yanjing asks, do you also like rosemary? Xing says, rosemary is my favorite. Xing also offers him pineapple-flavored candy, which is said to be Yanjing's favorite. Yanjing asks, do we know each other from before? And asks Xing, take off your mask. Xing refuses. Yanjing gives Xing a gift. Xing asks, did you select this yourself? Yanjing says, my secretary selected it. Xing refuses to take the gift and says, go back. Yanjing leaves. The next day, Xing goes to the office to meet Yanjing, but he is at a party. Xing goes to the party with Feng. Yanjing sees both of them. At the party, when Xing goes to get a cigarette, Yanjing tells her, I don't support romance between colleagues in my office, so you should maintain some distance with your friend. Xing replies, besides being colleagues, we are also good friends, so there is no need for you to comment on my relationship. Then Yanjing asks her, did you come to this party for me? Xing says, I am just fulfilling my duty as a secretary and am handling your place well. Saying this, Xing leaves from there. At this party, Xing wears a dress that Yanjing had couriered to her. Yanjing is surprised to see that she is wearing the same dress. Xing is introduced to a CEO and their assistant. They meet each other as if for the first time. After they leave, Yanjing says, you look very good in that dress. Xing says, if I had known that the dress was sent by you, I would have never worn it. At the party, Yanjing puts his shoes on Xing's shoes. Xing tells him, don't do that in a public place and remove your feet. When Yanjing refuses, Xing starts screaming, so he finally removes his feet. Just then, a waiter comes towards Xing with a drink, and to save her, Yanjing pulls her, and in this process, Xing hurts her foot. Yanjing gets angry and asks, what did you do? Xing says, it's not my fault. Yanjing then tells Xing, stay with me at the party, but Xing says it was just an accident and leaves from there. Then Yanjing grabs Xing's hand and starts dancing. Xing says, you are only dancing with me to attract Mr. Li's attention. Yanjing asks her, what do you want in return? Xing says, I want to work in the CEO's office again. Yanjing agrees. Seeing them dance, Mr. Li comes to talk to them. Xing says, I am just here for his entry. Yanjing tells Mr. Li, Xing is my girlfriend, and then starts talking about business. Mr. Li says, this place is not suitable for business talks, so we will meet later. In the office, he tells Xing, your work is done, and you can go now. Xing says, I am only your secretary, not your girlfriend. Then when Mr. Li comes back to them, Yanjing puts his coat on Xing and says, I will drop you home. Xing gives him the address of her old house. Outside the house, Yanjing asks her, how did you know I liked office work? Xing says, we were lovers, so I understand everything. Yanjing says, I will investigate your words. Xing leaves from there. The next day, Yanjing is standing outside Xing's house. Xing opens the door wearing a mask. Yanjing says, I will drop you at the office. Xing refuses and leaves. In the office, Xing arrives 20 minutes late. Yanjing says, being present in the CEO's office, you are late on the very first day. If I can call you, I can also send you back. Xing says, sorry. On the other hand, Xing comes to a photo shoot in place of her father. Yanjing is also there. He says, I am her friend, so I want to take the best shot. Xing asks, are you just a friend or something more? Yanjing changes the subject. When Xing cleans her face, some cake gets on her face, which makes Yanjing laugh and take her picture. Xing throws a towel at his face and tricks him. Yanjing goes to a photo booth in a mall and remembers flashbacks of Xing. Xing arrives but hides upon seeing him. Yanjing still rings her doorbell and invites her for dinner. Xing says, I have already had dinner. Yanjing says, let's just sit and talk like normal people. Xing comes to his house wearing a mask. Yanjing asks, did you order food for me? Xing says, no. Yanjing says, besides the secretary, only you knew my preferences. While talking, Xing falls asleep on the sofa. When Yanjing goes to remove her mask, Xing wakes up. Xing asks, what am I to you? Yanjing says, a neighbor whom I know. Xing also says, that's what I think too. Then she leaves from there. The next day, Yanjing waits for Xing and gives her a lift. Xing takes him to the wrong address. As soon as he gets out, Xing goes back to her company. In the meeting, upon everyone's suggestion, Yanjing gives a drop channel project to Xing and says, you should take responsibility for this project yourself. Xing says, I will handle the project well. Yanjing goes to Xing's company address and finds out that no one by the name of Xing works there. A CEO of a Poland company, Mr. Li, comes to meet Xing and asks her, join my company. Xing refuses. When Mr. Li presents the company idea in the meeting, both Yanjing and Xing are shocked. Yanjing refuses to give his presentation to Mr. Lieutenant. Mr. Li says, maybe you haven't forgotten Xing yet. That's why you are reacting this way. The deal is given to Mr. Li and the other partner. Xing's colleague Jin tells Yanjing, we have suffered a loss because the deal didn't go through. Yanjing says, whoever leaked the company's secret, I will surely find them. In the next scene, Yanjing stops Xing from attending the department meeting. While all the colleagues are discussing the matter, Jin comes and informs them, now Xing will be investigated for leaking the deal's secrets. The episode ends here. On the other hand, hearing about the investigation against Xing, her colleagues start saying that Xing would never do such a thing. But Jin says, I am just doing my duty, so everyone should cooperate. Meanwhile, Yanjing is angry at Xing and says, you told Mr. Liu our secrets, otherwise how would he have known? He says, you pretended to be in love and deceived me. Xing says, I never deceived anyone. Yanjing asks, if that's not the case, what were you talking to Mr. Liu about on the day of the meeting? Xing replies, even if I tell the truth, you won't believe me. She says, "So far there is no evidence against me, and until an appeal is filed between Mr. Liu and Mr. Yu, I have time to fix everything." Yanjing gives her a bottle to fill with water and says, "You will fix everything." Xing leaves the office. Mr. Liu's son comes outside his office, but Mr. Liu doesn't meet him. Jin informs the email of the scheme was sent from Xing's computer. She says, "Due to the launch, we will have to take a loan from the bank." But Yanjing says, "I have already withdrawn my funds, so there is no need for a loan." Xing waits for Mr. Liu until 10 p.m., but the secretary says, "There's no point in meeting him because Mr. Liu has refused." Yanjing goes to Xing's house, but she doesn't open the door. Xing is sitting near Mr. Liu's house. There she meets a woman who has memory loss. Xing takes care of her. Then Mr. Liu arrives there. That woman is his wife who has Alzheimer's. Mr. Liu thanks Xing. Xing tells him, "Your idea was copied by Mr. Liu, which is why I didn't give the presentation." Mr. Liu asks, "Do you have any proof?" Xing says, "Not yet." He says, "Without proof, I cannot cancel the deal." Xing's colleagues tell Yanjing, "Xing has gone on leave, and if she doesn't do anything, things could get worse." Yanjing says, "I will handle everything." In the next scene, when Yanjing finds out that there is a man in Xing's house, he immediately goes to her house and rings the bell. He calls out from outside, "I know Xing is at home." Xing hides her friend in the room and opens the door wearing a mask. Yanjing asks her, "Why do you always wear a mask?" Xing says, "I have a skin problem, so I keep a mask on." Yanjing suspects that she might be hiding something. Xing asks, "What could I possibly hide?" But Yanjing says, "You lied about your job, and maybe your real name is also something else." Xing acts confused. So Yanjing quickly goes and pulls back the curtains and sees Feng. He is astonished. He immediately takes off Xing's mask and is shocked to see her face. He says in anger, "Both of you have made a fool of me together." Xing says, "You should give me a chance to explain my point." But Yanjing doesn't listen. Xing tries to stop him. After this, Xing sees in the camera footage that Jin used her computer system to send the file to Mr. Liu, so she shows this to everyone. When Yanjing finds out the truth, he feels guilty. Then he makes an announcement in front of everyone. Xing will be reinstated as chief secretary. After this, Xing gives him a sweet kiss and asks, "Do you feel anything now?" Yanjing says, "Maybe we should try again." Love returns between them. Later in the office, everyone is happy that Xing is back. Yanjing comes to meet Xing and praises her. Xing texts him, "I never doubted you for 5 years, for which I will always be grateful." Yanjing's father also meets Xing and thinks they are really dating, so he brings up the topic of their marriage. Xing politely says, "I haven't thought about marriage yet." In the final scenes, Xing once again comes to Yanjing's house. He looks at the old things but says, "I don't feel anything." Xing kisses him one more time and says, "Feel anything now?" Yanjing says, "We should try again." They get close to each other once again. In the next scene, Xing and Yanjing are returning from the police station after filing a complaint. Xing says, "Thank you," and is about to leave, but Yanjing says, "Just thanks won't do. You should personally give me a thank you dinner." Xing jokingly says, "One has to make an appointment for dinner with you." Yanjing immediately says, "I am making an appointment now." Xing says, "My turn is still far away, so you should wait." And saying this, she leaves. The next day, Xing gets ready and leaves the house, and Yanjing is also there. They leave for the office together. Just then, Xing gets a call from a construction site where a fire has broken out. Both of them immediately go to the site. Seeing people injured there, Xing is a bit shocked. Just then, she tries to save an injured worker and gets injured herself. She loses consciousness. Yanjing takes her to the hospital. There, the doctor informs, Xing has temporary memory loss. When Xing regains consciousness, she asks Yanjing, "Who are you?" Then she faints again. The doctor says, "This memory loss is due to emotional trauma." Yanjing realizes how painful it is if Xing forgets him. The doctor informs, Xing was deeply in love with a boy, and she collapsed when he left. Now, if she falls in love again and that person leaves, the memory loss can return. Yanjing is pained to hear this. He wonders if Xing will forget him again. When Xing regains consciousness, Yanjing is not there. She asks, "Where is he?" Just then, her colleagues come to the hospital and bring her best wishes. Xing is surprised how these people found out. They say, "Someone told us you were injured." After that, in the office, Yanjing and Xing meet again. Xing tells him, "There is no need to give me compensation," but Yanjing insists, "You must come for a checkup." Xing pretends to faint. Yanjing picks her up and takes her for a checkup. The doctor informs, "Xing is fine." Xing asks, "Have your memories returned?" At first, he denies it, but then he says, "I remember everything." Xing hugs him and says that she is very happy. But Yanjing reveals, "I have love amnesia, meaning, if I love someone, I will forget them." Xing says, "We can get you treated," but Yanjing says, "There is no cure for this illness." He says, "We should break up so that I don't hurt you repeatedly." Xing is very sad. Her friend encourages her to confess to Yanjing. Xing asks, "What will happen if I get rejected?" The friend says, "If there is no one else in his heart, you can try." In the hospital, Xing meets a girl who is a cancer patient. That girl wants to break up with her boyfriend. Xing tells her, "You should not give up on love." The next day, when Xing returns from the hospital, she finds out that Yanjing has gone on a business trip with someone else. It's Xing's birthday. Everyone wishes her. Xing calls, but Yanjing's phone is unreachable. On the other hand, Xing's mother is convincing her to go on a blind date. In the next scene, Xing goes to dinner with Yanjing. Seeing her, Yanjing says, "You look different today." Xing smiles and asks him, "How do I look different?" Yanjing notices that Xing is eating very little today. Xing tells him, "I have put on lipstick and don't want it to get ruined." Yanjing tells her the side effects of her lipstick, hearing which Xing starts to wipe off her lipstick. But Yanjing stops her and says, "The color suits you." Then Yanjing gives Xing a gift, a cute streamers clip, and says, "This is fan service from my side." Xing likes it. In the meantime, Xing's uncle calls to say, "I have been injured." Xing gets worried and decides to go to her uncle immediately. Yanjing also goes with her. At night, Yanjing cancels a business deal and comes to Xing's side. The next morning, Xing goes on a blind date. Coincidentally, Yanjing is also at the same cafe. He overhears Xing's conversation. When Xing's date asks what kind of boyfriend she wants, she says, "Just someone who remembers he has a girlfriend." Hearing this, Yanjing comes there and directly asks the guy, "Do you want a girl whose boss looms over her life?" Xing angrily says, "My plans have been ruined because of you." Yanjing says, "If you want questions, I will give answers." Sitting in the car, Xing asks, "Weren't you on a business trip?" Yanjing says, "There was important work, so I returned." Then he takes her to the same restaurant where he had proposed to Xing 5 years ago. But now, Yanjing pretends that he doesn't remember anything. Xing reminds him, saying, "I remember every detail of that day." Yanjing says, "I have forgotten so as not to hurt you." Xing says, "I have only one regret, that I left that relationship 5 years ago." Yanjing asks, "Will you still regret this decision?" Xing says, "No, this time I am ready." Then they hug each other. After that, Yanjing starts writing a diary. At night, Xing and Yanjing return from a fan event where fans of both meet. Xing's foot hurts, so Yanjing takes off his sneakers and gives them to her and walks barefoot himself. Later, Xing and Yanjing pick up his mother from the airport. The mother thanks Xing. At that time, Xing asks her if there was any traumatic event in Yanjing's childhood. The mother reveals, "When Yanjing was 4 years old, his parents had a fight, and I attempted suicide. Yanjing saw all this and then forgot everything. Since then, we haven't told him so that he doesn't get sad." During a session with the doctor, Yanjing finally finds out that the cause of his memory loss is this traumatic memory that his subconscious mind had blocked, so that he could be saved from heartbreak again. The doctor says the treatment may take time. When Yanjing comes out, his mother apologizes to him. Yanjing says, "It was not my mother's fault at all. Depression is not in anyone's control." Xing tells Yanjing, "Just take care of yourself and not to worry about work. When you get well, I will handle everything." Yanjing starts his treatment, and Xing handles his work. A few days later, when Xing is returning from the airport, she is so tired that her attention is not on the road, and she has an accident. When Yanjing finds out that Xing has had an accident, he quickly rushes to the hospital. But Xing is not in the bed at that time, so Yanjing starts getting angry at the nurse. As soon as Xing sees him, she asks what he is doing here. Yanjing hugs her tightly and asks if she is okay. Xing says that she hasn't had a checkup yet, so she is not sure if there is any internal injury. Then, Yanjing takes her to the doctor, who says Xing is fine, but she should be careful from now on. When Yanjing finds out that Xing didn't rest much due to work, which caused her to feel dizzy, he blames himself. Xing says that she is fine now, so he shouldn't worry. In the next scene, Yanjing applies ointment to Xing's injury. Xing falls asleep there, so Yanjing takes her to the bedroom. Then he asks his doctor on the phone, "Can my illness be cured in the short term?" The doctor says, "It's difficult, but there is some chance that your memories might return during the treatment." The next day, Xing calls, but Yanjing doesn't pick up. When Xing goes to the office, she finds out that Yanjing was seen at dinner with Van. Xing gets angry and tells Yanjing, "You should have told me earlier so that I wouldn't have canceled the doctor's appointment." Later, when Xing comes to Yanjing again, he ignores her. Xing gets angry and leaves. At night, Xing brings dinner and waits for Yanjing. When he arrives, Xing says, "I was waiting so that I don't seem clingy." Yanjing asks, "Are you not angry?" Xing says, "I am sure that you won't cheat on me, and I can handle your and Van's friendship." Yanjing says, "The doctor told me I was worried, so I want some space. Xing feels bad that Yanjing keeps reminding her of her illness. They have a slight argument. Just then, Yanjing tears up his diary in front of Xing, says, I am tired and want to live like a normal person. Xing says, you are emotional right now, we will talk about this topic later, and leaves. After she leaves, Yanjing tapes the diary pages back together. After this, Xing finds the diary, in which he finds out that Yanjing deliberately made her angry and pushed her away so that if his memories return, she won't be hurt. The next day, everyone finds out that Xing has resigned and left the house. She only left a letter in which she wrote, I don't want you to forget anything from your memories because of me, nor do I want you to forget me. That's why I left. Yanjing reads the letter and cries. Slowly, he returns to his normal life and continues his treatment. After this, when Xing's father finds out that the money his friend had returned was actually given by Yanjing, he asks Yanjing, do you really love Xing? Yanjing says, meeting Xing was the best moment of my life. Xing's father says, I will definitely return your money, but Yanjing says, money is not the issue, and he tells him, I searched for Xing for 5 years but forgot everything due to my illness. Then it is shown that Yanjing takes Xing to a hotel and says, Xing is not at fault in all this, and I myself will handle this news. The world asks, she has suffered so many injuries for him, so do you like her? Yanjing asks, what are your feelings? Saying this, he kisses her. On the other hand, Xing tells Yanjing, I didn't know that the money was given by you. She says, I will return the money. Yanjing says that she also has a family, so Xing says, deduct the money from my salary. Yanjing asks, so does this mean you are ready to come back with me? Xing smiles and says, do you want to stay here for the rest of your life? Hearing this, Yanjing picks her up in his arms. Just then, their parents arrive and seeing all this, they go back. In the next scene, Xing goes to meet Dr. Han and asks, is Yanjing's illness cured now? Dr. Han says, psychological problems do not recover quickly. Xing asks, so does this mean he can still forget me? Dr. Han says, it's hard to say anything. He asks, will you leave him after hearing this? Xing says, this time I will not leave him and go anywhere. In the next scene, Yanjing asks Xing when she will come to the office. Xing says, first, I want to apologize to my colleagues. Then, I will come to the office after a few days. Later, Yanjing messages Xing and asks, how is your party going? Xing sends pictures of the party. Yanjing says, I am happy that you are back because after you left, I had to handle everything alone. The next morning, during the birthday celebration, Yanjing says, cheers to everyone. Just then, the director asks, have you found a secretary? The doctor says, no such perfect secretary has been found yet. Everyone suggests Xing should get another chance. Yanjing says, I usually don't give a second chance, but if Xing wants, she can come back. Just then, we see that Xing comes in front of the reporters. The media asks her, what about the pictures with Yanjing? Xing says, Yanjing is just my friend and colleague. Then Yanjing arrives and says, if the media wants to ask anything, they should ask me and Xing directly. Then he announces in front of everyone, in the past 6 years, Xing has only dated one person, and that is me. After this, Yanjing posts a picture of himself and Xing on social media. He smiles seeing the comments. In the office, Xing tells her colleagues, I don't want you to change your behavior because of my relationship. Then we see that Yanjing and Xing discuss a serious matter. They decide we should explain the relationship to the media. Xing says, I will give a formal statement for the media. Yanjing had a dream of proposing to Xing. He prepares everything to propose, but accidentally they both reach the wrong place. Xing is a bit confused and says, next time you should ask before giving a surprise. She explains, I was actually going for research, not just for fun. Then Yanjing asked her what she likes, and Xing straight away replies, I like you. Hearing this, Yanjing proposes to her on the spot. Xing says yes, they go back home and share a romantic moment. But in between, Yanjing gets an urgent video conference and he leaves. The next morning in the office, everyone congratulates Xing on her new project. Yanjing arranges a rock band for her and gives her a printed sari with a message on it. But Yanjing feels a little insecure and thinks, maybe if Xing gets too close, it might make me forget her. In the evening, Xing comes to his house to surprise him. She starts flirting, but Yanjing makes an excuse and goes out. Xing's mother calls her and tells her that she is coming to the city. Xing promises to pick her up. Xing's mother wants to finalize Xing's relationship matter quickly. Xing comes to Yanjing's house at night and kisses him. He feels a little hesitant, and Xing explains to him, I have read your diary, so don't run away from the conversation. Yanjing admits, I had forgotten the proposal at first, but now I have successfully proposed, which is proof that I am getting better. Xing says, just like one has to take risks in investments, this relationship is also a good decision. Yanjing laughs and takes her to the bedroom. The next morning when he wakes up, Xing shows him the ring and reminds him, I am now your fiancé. Both are happy. Then Xing introduces her parents to Yanjing's parents over dinner. Xing's father is a little nervous, but Xing's mother says, "Now we are all going to become one family. Everyone has a good time." Parents from both sides decide the wedding should happen by next month. Yanjing says, "We have already merged our careers and I don't want to waste any more time." Xing's parents agree. Both families celebrate. Yanjing gets busy with wedding preparations, and Xing with her work. After this, a pre-wedding photo shoot takes place. Yanjing is strict about wedding planning, but Xing says, "I am already happy. There is no need to take so much stress. Our love is enough. There is no need for extravagant things." At night, Xing asks him for a dance, and they share a romantic moment. Xing reminds him, "I chose a simple ring because I like simple things, so I want a simple, sweet life, not a grand wedding." Yanjing apologizes, "I'm sorry for getting angry at you." Xing also admits, "I was busy with work, so I couldn't focus on wedding planning." They discuss the wedding plans together. In the following scenes, Xing tries on a wedding dress, and everyone praises her. Pictures of Yanjing and Xing are clicked. Everyone is happily engaged in preparations. The wedding hall is being decorated. Yanjing is excited. The next scene is the wedding scene where the doctor is the wedding's master of ceremonies. He introduces Yanjing and Xing. Xing's father gives her hand to Yanjing. Yanjing signals for the wedding ceremony to be fast. Then they exchange rings, say "I love you" to each other, and also share a sweet kiss. After that, they leave from there. Due to the wedding, Xing gets tired and says, "I won't get married again." Yanjing jokingly says, "Then who will you marry?" Xing smiles and says, "No one but you." When she feels hungry, Yanjing brings dinner for her. Xing says, "I want to take a shower but I'm tired." Yanjing says, "I will remove your makeup too." After the honeymoon, Xing brings gifts for everyone. She thanks director Yan for handling things in her absence. In the next scene, Yanjing checks the monthly review in the office and asks, "Has there been any growth so far?" Xing is about to say something, but Yanjing has already given another report to the director. Xing says, "Before you used to get angry, now you just look at me with love." Yanjing says, "Now I take care of everything about you, I can't scold you." He is about to kiss her when director Yan comes there, and seeing them close says he forgot his file there. After this, Xing goes home, takes a pregnancy test, and the result is positive. Yanjing gets very excited. Xing says that she is now ready to be a mother. She wasn't before. After that, she goes for a checkup with the doctor who tells her, "You are 6 weeks pregnant." After all this, Yanjing wants Xing to rest, but Xing says a little activity is also necessary. On the other hand, everyone in the office finds out about the pregnancy. Xing says sharing happiness with everyone increases it. Xing takes a year's gap. When she joins the office back after a year, Xing's family, colleagues Tongshen and Feng are all very attached to the baby. Tongshen and Feng announce, "We are converting our friendship into a family," which makes everyone very happy. With this happy moment, the drama has a happy ending.